want to thank first and foremost my Lord and Savior, because that's who got me through it. I want to thank President Trump. I want to thank the administration. I want to thank Alice Johnson. I want to thank every person that has prayed for us, that has stayed in the fight and that fought for the truth to come out. Even though this pardon has happened, I still was convicted of something that I did not do. It could be you. So I understand the shame that's around it, but I refuse to feed into that, because shame is like a cancer that just spreads, and I have no shame.
They ought to release the J6 hostages. They've suffered enough. They ought to release them. I call them hostages. Some people call them prisoners. I call them hostages.
President Trump says he's pardoning a former Virginia sheriff who was convicted of federal bribery charges. Scott Jenkins was the sheriff of Culpeper County in Northern Virginia. In December, he was convicted of accepting more than $70,000 from local businessmen in exchange for positions within his department. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison and was set to report to jail tomorrow. But in a social media post, Trump said he was unjustly treated, writing, quote, "This sheriff is a victim of an overzealous Biden Department of Justice and doesn't deserve to spend a single day in jail."
He only pardons people he likes, or maybe they have some kind of advantage to him. That's my whole problem. This guy right here, Paul Wozniak, he was pardoned by Trump after dude's mom paid at least $1 million to him and helped endorse Trump and his campaign through multiple donation parties, get-togethers, kissing the ring, sucking up. Dude pleaded guilty to committing tax crimes, and he still gets pardoned. And let us never forget these January 6ers that he pardoned. He pardoned all of them, no matter what they did. Every last one of them that were arrested or convicted of a crime during January 6th, he let go. Just let them all go, no problem. Totally start up a pool as long as it's like, he was that bad on the Capitol. He belongs in there for sure. Darn tootin'. I was looking through the list of pardons, right? And there's so many. It's so many. You've seen the videos of the people I mentioned before. Various crimes, some small, some big, but there's a theme going on. Again, it's people that he likes, people that want to kiss the ring, or there's some kind of advantage to it. I never, not like I knew much about pardons before this. I gotta say, this whole Trump thing, both last presidency and this one, I haven't learned so much about politics and the inner workings of our country. Thank you, Mr. President. I will give you that. Thank you for that. But I wouldn't have thought that pardons would be used in such a way. That's my problem with it. He uses it like a mafia don tool, as if this were his daughter's wedding and he's gonna grant you your wish. You know what I'm saying? That's how he wields the power he has as president. Not to do good, but to do good for him. Look at all those people. Last thought. The Chrisleys, I'm saving them for last because I want to show you a clip from Consciously talking about it. There's an interesting aspect to this whole thing, which I didn't expect. So, the Chrisleys were convicted, right? In prison. Trump lets them out. They committed $36 million of fraud. Swear up and down they didn't do it. Well, at least the husband. The wife apparently admitted to it, but now they're saying that she was pressured into admitting it. He said, she said, I don't really know. But the two things I do know is their daughter was all up in Trump to make that pardon happen. I know that sounds terrible. But something so obvious should not be allowed. You know what I'm saying? Obvious bribery. Just obvious corruption. It's not even that I even care that they got out. I mean, I do in the sense that there should be some kind of justice for what they did, right? But it's the impact. That's the whole thing about Trump. That's the whole thing about MAGA and this whole thing that we're seeing right now is the impact, the future implications. Now this means that any future president can do the same thing. Just kiss the ring, pardons. We're totally ignoring that. I don't know why we are, but that's a thing now. Donald Trump has made it a thing. You're supposed to get approval from Congress, I believe. That I'm learning. And he doesn't even do that. He just pardons people or commutes them. Now they all can do it, guys. They all can do it. If Trump isn't going to be running for our forever futures or whatever, I'm telling you, all presidents can now do that. The bar is again lowered. Why is that not more known, more yelled out from the top of our lungs? Okay. I'm done. I'm off my soapbox. Share and like if you like what you're hearing. Let me know what you think. And yeah, we'll talk later.
Y'all heard what Todd said about black folks after being pardoned by Trump? Listen.
This is a long shot because so many people are told no. And being in the prison system, anyone that says that it's a fair shake, it's not. Because I dealt with young African-American males in the prison that I was in that were not treated the same. They were denied programming. They were denied access to certain things. I was not denied that, but we know why I wasn't denied that. And so I think that is a much bigger picture that we all as a society as a whole need to look at, that we are one. And whether you're Republican, Democrat, or whatever, at the end of the day, when you're in that hospital, you don't care if it's a Democrat treating you or a Republican. Now, some of you may, but I want whoever's going to be the best.
This does not warrant an invite to the cookout. Because like my granny and them always said, you're not finna get rewarded for doing some shit you supposed to do. He supposed to acknowledge the inequalities in the system. Just think about it. How many folks look like us you think locked up for the same exact thing he was, but they waiting on commissary and a release date? We only represent about 14% of the general population. Our community represents 38% of the federal prison population. They both got pardoned, and I hope that when they rubbing shoulders with them Trump supporters, they're able to keep in mind that no matter how much them folks engaged in color blindness, they seen the racial inequality for themselves. But maggots always love to ask, can you name anything that I can do as a white person that you can't do as a black person? Shit, ask Todd. I'm going to start saying that from now on. Education is elevation.